So good evening, sir. I'm working on the second. I'm working on the second chapter, on the second lab, and this is 10.026 configure a perimeter firewall. It's to configure the pfSense again, and this time it's supposed to be allowed access from outside world, so from the one to be able to access to the DMZ through port HTTP, HTTPS. For this reason, I have created a CentOS server. This is the one. It has access to internet, as you could see. It is in the DMZ. So if I check the IP address here, IP A, here it is. The IP address will be 192.168.2.10. It's a different network. The other one was .1. The resolution actually is coming from my DNS server, so I allowed access to the DNS server. Here it is, and that's my DNS server. This is the active domain controller as well. Here it is, so ipconfig all. So this is my DNS 110, and if we go and check the firewall, how it is configured, you'll see the rules here. And I created an alias so to be able easy to access port 80 and 443. I call it at web. So when I navigate to the rules, you will see here on the LAN there are a couple of well, actually on the DMZ there are a couple of rules which allows the source 192.168.2.10. This is once again this CentOS server, right? This guy here. Then, yeah, here it is. This guy to be able to access the DNS, on the active domain controller. This is the one through TCP/UDP. And the other rule which has been created is to access the web, which obviously has 80 port and 443 outside. So this one allows indeed the DMZ, which in pfSense by default is shut down towards the towards internet, indeed to be able to access internet. Now, by the way, if I try to ping something in the internet, I still won't be able to do it because I haven't allowed the ping. Here it is. So, and if I try to even ping the Google, it will be the same. I won't be able to go and ping it. But if I refresh here, as you could see, there is no problem to resolve the name since it's resolving from my active domain controller. So I also created here Nginx server, and I allowed TLS and SSL. I allow the unsecure one. I don't use the external company for this. It's allowing TLS internally. So basically, if I check the Nginx, you will see if I say system CTL status Nginx. And here it is. It's loaded and it is there. I stopped the firewall D, which by default is there, but of course I could allow it. It's much easier to work this way. So if I check the status of firewall D, and I see Linux status, Linux also is disabled, but it's fine. It's only for the lab. It's internal. There is a perimeter firewall, so there is no problem for that. So here it is. I'm able from my real computer, from my active domain on 192.168.1.10, my local area network, I'm able to access through HTTP, as well as I'm able to access through HTTP. And as you see, it's a self-sustained. That's why it's giving me this problem. So let me refresh it to see if it's working. And then what I did, I navigated I actually went a little bit further what the exercise is asking. I did it the way so from my real computer, which is the one in my case. So this is, as you see, that's my one network. 172.172.16.0243 is the IP address on the one, and that's my real network. So from the browser, from my real network, after applying a little bit, not only the rules but also the NAT. So if I go to the NAT and port forwarding, so doing a port forward, I created indeed these are not used ports, and I assigned 8888 to port 80, so it will be translated to 8888 on the outside IP address of the firewall. The same way port 443 will be translated to 9999 on the outside world, and in that case actually the rules has been created on the DMZ, on the one, I'm sorry, they have been created automatically. Here it is. That's what the pfSense does when you create port forwarding. So as a matter of fact, and as final thing, when I come here to and I try to resolve here with 88888, I'm accessing what I've been seeing there, as well as here what I see on the same with 999. I could say advanced, I could say accept the risk and continue. So just before the end, because I didn't stop my firewall for a while, I needed to actually reboot it, and just in case I changed the ports, the translated ports, and now there is no problem. It's working, and here it is the HTTPS. So I need to say advanced, and I need to go accept the risk, and here it is. Now it's working as through the HTTPS. I just changed the port in case some of them were taken or in the cache, so it won't allow me after the reboot to reuse them. So with this, the second practical lab is done. So I'm stopping the video and I will send it to you. Have a great evening.